I wanted to take you guys through my personal favourite top 10 games of all time. Number 2 is Mass Effect 2. I'm not a massive RPG guy, I'm an action RPG guy. That's why I preferred Mass Effect 2 to the first one. Played the first one on Xbox, enjoyed it. It was a good game. Then 2 came along and absolutely blew my proverbial socks off. The gunplay was much improved. Telekinesis powers were unbelievable. But the thing that got me about Mass Effect 2, ending of this game, possibly my favourite ending of all time. The amount of planets I scanned on Mass Effect 2 to get resource and materials that I ended up not spending on upgrades. And those upgrades that you can make to the ship in the game, affecting the final mission, who lives, who dies, if you're successful, if you're not, your choices throughout the entire game affecting the last mission, blew 15-year-old Jimmy's mind wide open, and I immediately restarted the game and tried to save everyone, to get all the achievements, to make sure my companions didn't die. Mass Effect 2 was incredible. Before we get to number 1, I want to give some honourable mentions. 2 games and game franchises I've actually spent the most hours in across my life. Old school RuneScape. I'm a RuneScape boy. If you're also a RuneScape person, you know you never really quit RuneScape. You give it up for a few months and then you get absolutely hooked again and play it and grind and cut trees for 6 hours at a time and forget that life exists outside of RuneScape. And the franchise I've played the most is obviously Pokemon. I can't pick out one particular Pokemon game. Pokemon Ruby is probably the most nostalgic for me. Pokemon Red, spent hours in my conservatory trading my mates to get Alakazam, Gengar and Golem. But there wasn't one I could pick out as my absolute favourite, but as a franchise, come on, Pokemon. Number 1 favourite game of all time is God of War 2018. I'd played previous God of Wars. They were good. They were button mashy. I enjoyed them. 8 out of 10. If you had a PS3, you pretty much had to play God of War. But then this changed up the setting. They changed up a bit of the character. They added a bit of character to Kratos. They added Atreus, boy. And then the third-person action RPG element of God of War. The combat was unbelievable. Calling back the axe, which you've seen a few times down here, was so satisfying. The fact that the entire game is done in one shot without cutting or loading technologically blew my mind. And I mentioned Mass Effect 2's ending was one of my favourites. It's because it's neck and neck with this. The ending of God of War 2018, when you find out who a special someone is and what their name is. I've watched people react to that on stream compilations innumerable times. God of War 2018 is my favourite.